So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope everyone is doing wonderful on this very thoughtful Thursday. So, recently I was asked my thoughts about the Neil Long, and I don't, I'm not sure how to pronounce her fiance's name. So, good morning, Realtor. But for me, the whole concept of these two people is just another example of that the construct and the question that women often ask themselves: why do men cheat? Now, as a coach, of course, I've dealt with and worked with women who have been portrayed. It is one of the hardest and the saddest things to do because oftentimes, as women, what we do is we blame ourselves. We look at the situation and we think, what did we do wrong? Why aren't we good enough, beautiful enough? Like what I hate about portrayal is that it breaks us. Like it breaks. I almost say it breaks your mind, right? Because you will go through this period of time where everything you thought you knew, everything that you thought was certain, all of a sudden inside of you becomes very uncertain. And now you're questioning everything. And here's the thing about portrayal. Like I really want you to understand, even though right now this big hot topic is the Nia Long and the coach from the what is it, Boston Celtics basketball team, because I can't pronounce his name. Um, that's what's in the news. And so we're focusing on them. And a lot of people, for some of you who may not know Nia Long, in the African American community, she is like royalty. She's beautiful. And for many of us, we grew up watching her movies and watching her in shows. And I totally agree, she's a beautiful woman. And there's this thing in our society where we think, why would a man cheat on a woman so beautiful? As if women who are less attractive should be cheated on. And think about this, Jay-Z is said to cheated on Beyonce. And many people think of Beyonce as beautiful, like smart, successful. She is the pinnacle. So you would think if a man got this particular woman, he wouldn't want anything else. But that is the problem in that kind of thinking is it makes the woman responsible for a man's behavior. I really want you to get this. When we start thinking, why did he cheat? And if it has happened to you, why did he cheat on me? And what could I have done differently? And maybe if I was more pretty, or what did the woman look like he cheated on me with? And why did he pick her? When we go into those places, it makes us responsible for his bad behavior. And we are not. We are not responsible for man's behavior. And so we, as women, first and foremost, we have to begin to recognize that because a thing affects us, doesn't mean it's about us. And so I want to say that again. Because you are deeply affected, hurt, wounded, and it feels very personal to you, because it affects you, does not mean it's about you. And many of us can't separate that. We haven't been brought up with the language, with the construct that I'm not responsible for this man's behavior. It's the notion that we are responsible to one another, but not for one another. And you have to really get this. One of the things I really want women to realize, and men, if you watch my channel, I want you to start getting this. When a man cheats on a woman, it is his own lack of inadequacy or feelings of inadequacy or feelings of um, low self worth needing to be validated. And oftentimes in our society, because many times we don't teach our boys and men how to communicate their feelings and their emotions. So for many of them, the only way to seek validation, to get the feeling or the need met that they felt for so long is through sexual encounters or through the attention of a woman, because no one has taught them that, first of all, let's identify these emotions that you're feeling. Let's expand your vocabulary past the 4 and 5 words, mad, sad, angry, pissed off, whatever, to hurt, disappointment, inadequacy, fear, sadness. Let's go to those words and give language to it. But then also, let's talk about who do you become when you feel this way? How do you react when you feel this way? And what do you use to eliminate this emotion, this feeling? How do you tap out? How do you begin to avoid these emotions? And this is why when I'm working with, I had one opportunity to work with a couple where the husband had cheated on his wife. And so they came to me and they said they wanted to do the work. But I was very clear from the moment they arrived that the wife wanted to do the work, but the husband wasn't interested. And sadly, his whole thing was, I'm not going to do it again. And I said, well, do you know why you did it in the first place? He's like, oh, just had opportunity. Da, da, da. Well, as they talked more, the wife began to explain to me, this wasn't his first time. And I said, sir, until you dig in and discover why you're cheating on your wife. And of course it became, well, she needs to do this. And if she did this more, she used to be more attractive. She used to take care of my needs. No, what is it in you that makes you need to go outside of your marriage? What is it these women are giving you, validating you with? What emotional need do you have that they're fulfilling that you're needing to constantly cheat on your wife? They've been married for years and this had been a continuous thing. He would not have a conversation. He wouldn't go there. He says, I don't even know why we're here. I'm fine. I'm not going to do it again. She just needs to believe me and trust me. They decided not to continue coaching, couples coaching, and that's okay. But about 3 weeks or a month later, the wife reached out to me and she said he never stopped cheating with this woman, and he has moved out, and she felt destitute because she was a trailing spouse. Her husband was taking care of everything, and she didn't know what to do next. This is the thing I want you guys to get this morning. As a wife, as a woman, never, ever, ever surrender who you are to be with a man. Because it's not about whether, okay, well, I got a good one, Kanisha. I got a good one. But he's a man. He's human. He has these tendencies. He has needs. He has places that he's hurting that could cause the same situation. But when you have your vision, your dreams, your goals, and your whole brain is broken, because that's what betrayal does, it will break your brain. It will feel like there has been a rupture in all of your world. There's ways and strategies to get through that and come through that. I help women do that too. But listen to me. The reason I push having your visions, living your dreams, is because I know that when, as a woman, if we do not have our own dream, our own passion, the thing that wakes us up at night that we're excited to do, and it cannot be our husband, cannot be our children, we are going to wake up one day, whether our husband betray us or not, and we're going to feel so lost and so disconnected from society. And we're going to have all of this shame, guilt, hurt, low self-esteem, negative self-talk. And we may feel like there's nothing we can do, particularly if you have allowed this to happen for years. And one day you wake up and it feels as though, what have I done? My life is over. Here's what's beautiful about life. If you get to wake up another day, you get to do it another day. But you have to decide and choose. What are you going to do? Who are you going to become? What are you going to put your all of your energy into? I am a wife. I'm a mom. But when I had my children, when I became Andre's wife, I was determined that I am Kanisha. He married Kanisha. She's going to stay Kanisha. She's not going to just be Andre's wife. She's not going to just be Bryce and Brianna's mom. It took me years, but I held on. I knew something wasn't right because I wasn't living my passions and my dreams. I was working a job that made my stomach cramp sometimes. And I will tell you, it was in the midst of my brokenness that God reignited everything in me. He began to pour out. But the only way he could trust me with the dream is I was willing to do the emotional work it took to heal. So I teach women first, you got to get back connected to that dream if you've lost it. Some of you already know exactly what your dreams and visions are, but they just sit in the shelf of your mind and you refuse to go there and touch them. So when you work with me, the first thing we do is we begin to unpack that vision and dream. And then the second thing we do is we're going to begin to look at what is this story you're telling yourself that's keeping you from living and having that dream. Because when I can show you it's just a story, you can begin to rewrite a better story. And here's what's beautiful about it. Whether you're in the situation where your husband has cheated, or your spouse, or your friend, or your boyfriend, or whatever, has cheated or has betrayed you in some way, because sometimes betrayal is not just adultery. You got to get that. But if you're in that space where your mind feels like, oh my God, I'm broken, I don't know who I am, that kind of place. When you have those visions and dreams and you begin to do that emotional work that's required for you to understand you at such a level that you never even consider, you will begin to show up the amazing woman you are. And you will begin to realize, recognize, and know with all certainty, I can handle anything. And I don't have to handle it by shutting off my emotions, being mad, cutting people out of my life, thinking, oh, well, I can handle it by having the conversation. I can handle that whatever you have to say to me may be hard to hear, but it's not about me. But if it is for me, I can receive it and grow from it. I do not have to cut everybody off, live this isolated life because of my hurt, my pain, and my soul wounds. So if you're ready to move to the next level, if you're ready to write that book, if you are in that place where I imagine Nia Long is, where she is hurting, where her brain has been broken, if you are feeling betrayed and you need help, I can help you. My coaching, I use a program I call the Blueprint to You, and I begin to help women unveil who they really are, who they was created to be. And we got to know that the Bible says God created you in his image. And then it says we were shaped in iniquities. Iniquity means twisted, bent, turned. So you've been turned into things that's not really your identity because of the things that happened to you. And you have to know that there's a way to get back to moving, thinking, relating from your created self and not from your shaped and molded, broken self. Listen, I pray you have a wonderful day. I hope your Thursday is amazing. And if you are ready to do the work, or you're just considering it, or you're thinking, I didn't know my brain was broken, but it is. Let me talk to Kenesha. On Instagram, it's in my bio. On Facebook, YouTube, it's all in the link. Just do a session. So Facebook, it looks like we disconnected for a little while. I want to say thank you for watching. And if you're ready to talk to you soon, bye-bye.